What's up, baseball fans? Welcome to another edition of the KBO Power Rankings. Let's get to it. At number 10 for the third straight week, the SK Wyverns. The Wyverns continue to hold down last place in the league, even with a slightly better week this past week. One bright spot for the Wyverns continues to be Dong-Min Han, who's hitting .317 for the year with 6 homers and 12 RBIs, along with a .667 slugging percentage, but he will not save this team this year. At number 9, I have the Samsung Lions. Overall, the Lions are just an uninspiring team. They lost 2 of 3 to both the Twins and the Bears this past week, giving up 35 runs. Overall, no one really stands out on this team, and they're just struggling to find any sort of consistency. At number 8, I have the Lotte Giants. While it looks like the Cinderella story of the Giants continues to be just a mirage, as they had another losing week, getting swept by the Tigers and slipping to 6th place in the standings. The rotation overall hasn't been great, giving up 40 runs this past week, and Dan Straley had a bad start against the Tigers, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. As for the offense, Dixon Machado leads the team with 15 RBIs, but he's only hitting .233 and only has an on-base percentage of .313. Since starting the year 5-0, they have gone 4-8 since. At number 7, I have the Hanwha Eagles. Not a good week for the Eagles as they went 2-4, and the one good thing that they've had so far this year in the pitching gave up 41 runs this past week. Warwick Sapolsky and Min-Woo Kim continue to pitch well, but they're going to need other guys in the rotation to step up, and the bullpen will need to improve if the Eagles want to have any chance this year. The offense continues to be one of the worst in the league, but they did put up 31 runs this past week. The problem, though, was when the Eagles did pitch well this past week, they couldn't provide any run support, and when the Eagles would put up runs, the pitching would let them down. The Eagles will need to find some kind of consistency this upcoming week. At number 6, I have the KT Wiz. The Wiz continue to hit really well as they rank first in runs scored, but the pitching continues to struggle as they rank 9th in ERA. A so-so week this past week, going 3-3. The Wiz are still searching for their identity. On the pitching side, Ojosamer Despayne and Ji-Song Bae continue to pitch well, but the rest of the rotation is still trying to find their footing. As for the bullpen, they lost a heartbreaker to the Twins on Sunday as Junho Ha and Min-So Kim failed to hold down the Twins and gave up a walk-off 3-run homer to Roberto Ramos. The offense is doing well as they moved into first place in runs scored this past week, scoring 43 runs thanks to great production from Baek Ho Kong, Mel Rojas Jr., and Sung Woo Jung. But this team has to pitch better. At number 5, I have the Doosan Bears. Not a bad week for the Bears, but not a good one either as the Bears went 3-3 on the week. The story of this team this year continues to be how yin and yang they are. The offense can mash, but the pitching is really missing Josh Lindblom as they gave up 43 runs this past week. They did get a great performance out of Chris Flexen though, as he threw 8 innings of 1-run ball and struck out 10 against a really good Dinos team. On the year, he's 2-0 with a 2.70 ERA. Other than Flexen though, the rest of the rotation isn't anything inspiring, and Young-Ha Lee has been very disappointing so far with a record of 1-2 and an ERA of 5.75. As for the bullpen, they continue to struggle as they gave up 9 runs in the top of the 9th to the Dinos this past week, in which they went into that 9th inning with a 6-3 lead. However, the offense continues to keep the Bears near the top of the standings as they scored 34 runs this past week. Jose Miguel Fernandez continues to be one of the best players in the league, hitting a staggering 581 plate appearances so far, along with 4 homers and 17 RBIs. Guys like Jae-Hwan Kim, Jae-Won Oh, Jae-Hwan Choi are contributing as well. Without those guys, who knows how the Bears would be doing. At number 4, I have the Kia Tigers. The team of the week was the Kia Tigers as they jumped 5 spots total in my power rankings, winning 5 of 6 games this past week. The pitching was absolutely fantastic last week, only allowing a total of 11 runs and getting good performances pretty much out of everyone. The starting rotation as a whole has just been solid, with not one guy toting an ERA more than 3.86. The bullpen was also really good last week, including San Juan Jin, who has yet to allow a run this year, and Jun Pyo Park, who has an ERA just above a 1. Last but not least, the offense has been tremendous, scoring 34 runs this past week with guys like Ji-won Na driving in 8 runs total for the week and Sun Bim Kim hitting 411 on the week. Preston Tucker is hitless in his last 15 at-bats, however, so he'll be looking to break his slump this upcoming week. At number 3, I have the KRW Heroes. Not a bad week, but not a great week either for the Heroes as they continue to try and hit their stride so far this season. They're 3rd in ERA and 4th in runs scored, but the stats just aren't translating to wins. The thorn in the side of the Heroes is simply their bullpen being ineffective and not getting production from the offense late in games. There are some bright spots for the Heroes, however, as Eric Jokic continues to have a great year with a 1.17 ERA in 23 innings pitched. As for the offense, Jung-Hoo Lee is having an amazing year so far, hitting .373 with 4 homers and 19 RBIs, as well as Dongwon Park, who also has 4 homers. Ha-Sung Kim finally showed some signs of life this week, hitting .402 with a couple of homers and 5 RBIs. Byung-Ho Park also hit a couple homers, but he continues to try to find his footing as he's only hitting .190 on the year so far. Overall, I think the Heroes will hit their stride eventually, as there is just too much talent on this team. At number 2, I have the LG Twins. The Twins stay hot this past week, winning 4 out of 6 games against the Lions and the Wiz. While the starting pitching continues to try and find its footing, the bullpen has been getting the job done, with the Twins winning 3 games this week by 2 runs or less. As for the offense, one guy I predicted to be one of the best players in the KBO this year, Roberto Ramos, is living up to my predictions as he just mashed this week, hitting .325, 3 homers, and drove in 9 RBIs along with a walk-off home run against the Wiz on Sunday. For the year, he's hitting .350 with 7 homers, 16 RBIs, and a whopping 1.210 OPS. Other than Ramos, Un Sang Che and Hwan Soo Kim are helping pace the offense as well. The Twins are looking very solid. And at number 1, I have the NC Dinos. Another solid week for the Dinos as they continue to establish themselves as the best team in the KBO. The pitching continues to be dominant as they only allowed 20 runs this past week. Chong Mo-koo has a microscopic ERA of 0.41 in 22 innings pitched on the year so far, and Drew Rosinski threw 8 innings of shutout ball against the Eagles, lowering his ERA to 2.49 on the year. Along with the starting pitching, the bullpen continues to thrive as well. As for the offense, guys like Uji Yang, Jin Sung Kang, and Min-woo Park continue to pace the offense. It is no fluke that this team is in first place. They're just a solid team all around. So those are my power rankings for this week. Tell me down below your thoughts. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.